Recently, we finally got to see Jimin again after a long time, and his appearance at the airport felt special. It wasn't just a casual sighting, but an emotional event that reminded us why he always manages to make a difference. He looked stunning. His style was simple yet elegant, and his blonde hair seemed to reflect light from every corner of his face, making him shine wherever he went. Jimin wasn't just walking. He radiated light with every step, and that was something no one could deny. As expected, thousands of fans greeted Jimin's return with joy, although some critics began to voice their concerns. Some JIKOOK fans, as usual, seemed more focused on distracting themselves than acknowledging Jimin's obvious charm. They tried to cover up the truth with absurd rumors. Some said Jimin looked thinner, even though he clearly looked healthy and fine. Others took issue with the number of bodyguards accompanying him, as if Jimin was receiving special treatment from the agency. However, for those who truly know Jimin, such comments are simply a reflection of envy. Jimin doesn't need extra protection to shine. His natural charm always makes him the center of attention wherever he goes. In fact, what irritates others is the fact that Jimin manages to hog the spotlight even in the most mundane of moments. And most painfully for them, he does it without even trying. Every time he appears, the same pattern repeats itself. Rumors and speculations spring up to try to cover up something that can't be extinguished. For some fans, especially those who support JIKOOK's narrative, Jimin is often made the scapegoat for why Jungkook isn't with Taehyung. However, they never want to acknowledge the fact that Jungkook has, time and again, made it clear where his heart lies. Every look, every movement, every little detail he's shared is indelible evidence, no matter how hard they try to cover it up with false stories. And ultimately, the more they talk, the more they emphasize Jimin's importance, not just in Jungkook's life but on the world stage. That's why, despite the constant rumors of favoritism and conspiracy, the facts speak louder. Jimin has always been a figure of envy and admiration. No matter how hard they try to put him down, he always steps up, and his presence alone is enough to prove that Jimin has no defense. His actions, talent, and essence are more than enough to defy any criticism. And behind it all, there's a story no less captivating: JIKOOK. The relationship between Jimin and Jungkook always finds a way to show the love, bond, and affection they share. They are so tender with each other that every look, every smile, and every movement reveals a seemingly unwavering connection. Their gazes glow with a radiance that can only come from true love, a light that cannot be faked. Their smiles, so warm and sincere, seem to be reserved for each other, like a little secret in a world only the two of them understand. JIKOOK's love is so beautiful, so immense that it seems limitless. They show it in various ways, sometimes without words, simply through lingering glances, small touches that seem accidental but are always intentional. Their love is colorful, nuanced, and always manages to surprise us because they always find new ways to grow closer. That's what makes their moments so magical, a love that can't be hidden. Like two magnets constantly drawn to each other, they seem destined to meet and reunite. Even in silence, there's a powerful energy drawing them together, a force that can't be broken. Every time they lean in just to feel each other's warmth, we know it's not mere coincidence, but a natural impulse from hearts searching for each other. When their hands met, there was an irresistible need to feel each other's presence. The small touches were so tender, so intimate, they touched the soul. The scene may not be for us, but that's precisely where its specialness lies. Every movement, every inclination to move closer, was undeniable proof that they were two people truly in love. In many of the captured moments, a pattern repeated itself. They moved together as if connected by an invisible thread that only they felt. Regardless of the crowd, the spotlights, or the cameras watching, the world seemed to disappear when they were together. Jungkook took a step, Jimin followed. Jimin reached out, Jungkook responded without hesitation. They danced silently with body language so natural it was impossible to fake. The relationship wasn't a performance, but a natural habit born of a bond too deep to explain. The habit of always being close, of touching each other without hesitation, of gazing at each other with unconcealed sincerity. None of it was a coincidence. All of it was proof. evidence of a secret language that only the two of them understand but that everyone else can feel. And perhaps that's why every time we see Jimin and Jungkook together, we always feel like we're witnessing something unique, something beyond coincidence, something so close to destiny. Ultimately, the story of Jimin and Jungkook is always bigger than mere rumors or speculation. They are two souls who, without even trying, always manage to show how strong their love and bond are. Every step Jimin takes, every look Jungkook looks at, and every small moment they share is proof that there's something sincere, something real that no one's harsh words can erase. Jimin's recent presence at the airport reaffirmed one thing. He remains radiant, charming, and unwavering despite being surrounded by criticism and envy. Meanwhile, Jungkook's relationship, with all its tenderness, intimacy, and secret language, continues to be a never-ending story to witness. For those who understand that love is always palpable. For those who try to deny it, the truth will always emerge because true love cannot be hidden. And for those of us watching from afar, Jimin and Jungkook will always be a reminder that true love, true as it is, always finds its own way to shine through. Ultimately, Jimin and Jungkook's story can never be confined to the confines of rumor, speculation, or a narrative imposed by others. They are two people living in the spotlight, yet they have managed to preserve what is most precious: their pure love and closeness. The world may always try to distract, spread gossip, or fabricate stories, but the truth always emerges in the simplest forms. A gaze too deep to be fake, a smile too genuine to be staged, and a touch too warm to be considered accidental. Jimin, with his graceful and radiant way, always appears as a figure who radiates warmth and natural magnetism. He doesn't need to do anything to be the center of attention, because his very presence is enough to make the world pause. Jungkook, with all the admiration and affection he displays, is living proof that their relationship is not the result of illusion, but part of a meaningful life journey. JIKOOK is more than just a couple in the imagination of fans. They are a symbol of how true love can be born amidst pressure, how affection can continue to grow despite being scrutinized by millions of eyes, and how two souls can continue to find each other again and again, even when the world tries to separate them. Every moment they share is living proof that love, when truly real, doesn't need formal recognition to be acknowledged. And perhaps that's where the beauty lies. Jimin and Jungkook never tried to sell their love story. They simply lived their lives, letting their body language, gazes, and smiles speak louder than words. Before us all, they remained two people searching for each other, complementing each other, and strengthening each other. No matter how many voices tried to belittle it, no matter how hard gossip tried to cover up the truth, that love always found a way to shine through. Just as Jimin always radiated light with every step, and just as Jungkook could never hide the feelings clearly visible in his eyes. In the end, the world may be busy arguing, but true love never needs defending. And that love for Jimin and Jungkook will always be there, silent, gentle, yet eternal.